Peeking down here, just taking a peek. Yeah. Pop that boy on out of there. Pop out that jet. Slap it over there and put it on live. Doing it live. All right, we are back. It's been an interesting couple days. You boys got a space boot now. Far more powerful than I've ever been. That's a lie. If anything, I'm less powerful. Physically, mentally though, maybe I'm on that on that Obi-Wan shit. The first thought that came to mind is maybe I'm on that Jackie Chan shit, which I don't know. I don't know if I can recall any time that Jackie Chan had a movie that he was in a space boot or had a broken leg and was not bothered by it at all, but that sounds like a great movie. I'd love to watch that. Also, just really like Jackie Chan. So yesterday, I did not stream because it was Tuesday. And I don't normally do that on Tuesdays in the morning because coffee time is earlier. So that means that we would only be streaming for about 30 minutes, and I don't want to... It just puts me in a weird schedule when I start doing that for only... I feel like I'm really low today. Only 30 minutes to stop, then go make coffee, and then come back, and then stop again, and then go make... It's just, I don't know, having an hour to talk as opposed to 30 minutes just really kind of makes it feel more worthwhile, time-wise. But with that said, yesterday I pretty much, I guess I should explain. So, Greenland just finished, so it is uncharacteristically quiet and peaceful in my shop right now. There has been a lot of developments since we last talked. I've got the rolling cabinet. I don't think I covered that. Let me pull this closer. So, what all has improved since... what all has changed? Let me not just say improved. Since we last spoke, which would have been Friday. So, over the weekend was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to any of you all. And belated Mother's Day. So, Mother's Day was good. So many dope things to tell you, and I don't know where to start with. They found, I know someone who found a well, but I don't want to go too much into it because I don't. Fuck it. My mom found a well. And I'm really, really, really pumped about it because it's like an old well. It's the one that they built with her house in like 1900, or soon earlier, prior to the home actually being built. They might have built the well. I don't know. But it's been hidden for, decades. The well was covered with a concrete, just this huge concrete slab. And the only reason that we found it is because she had to get a tree cut down. And it was this huge fucking tree. It was one of the biggest trees. It's huge. It was one of the biggest trees that I've seen. If it fell, it absolutely would have just made the house just a pancake, or any other house. Like if it fell, there's no it would either have destroyed like my mom's house, her neighbor's house, the garage. There's nothing that if it fell, it had to come down. So they had to get this tree cut down. And in order to do that, they had to put these giant trucks on, drive them through there. And they went through the one spot that I guess you're not supposed to drive a giant truck through in my mom's yard, and it broke the giant cover that they made to put over top of this well. And you got to keep in mind though that this is still under the ground, like it's under there, and they covered it, so it's broken under there. So it took a while for my mom to like kind of find it, but apparently she was like, "Yeah, I found this big cracked piece of concrete," and then they dealt with it. I don't know who they had help them, but because I was not involved, I just found out about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, check this out," which is another thing that I love about it. My mom was just like, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" And I was just like, "Sure." She's just like, "Look at my bottomless pit. It's just a bottomless fucking pit. Like you can't." Like she showed it to me, and I took a picture, and I'll put a picture in the Discord. I mean, there's no reason to really put a picture in the Discord because it's just a fucking hole in the ground, like a black hole. There's like you can see the rocks going down, and then it's just a pit, and it's just like, man, I was really excited to go over there and kind of look at it. When it got darker and whatnot, because we were looking at it in the middle of the day, so it's just kind of harder. But they're like, yeah, no, we've done our own tests, and like. We have no idea how deep it is. It's deeper than every measuring tape, everything that they have to measure it. It's deeper than, and they're like, yeah, you throw something in, you don't ever hear it hit the bottom. It's just like that is horrifying, and I love that. So that my mom has a bottomless pit, which is cool. That's cool. Good thing to have. Good thing to know about. I spent yesterday morning working on this little guy, which is not too much to say, but I was pretty pleased for right now. And I came up with a bunch of concepts for how to use bits. But this is just a torso with, so this is essentially going to be like where the legs connect, rotating body part, kind of going up, and there will be two, right there and there, two little kind of sockets on each side for arms, or for weapon platforms, weapons. But yeah, so very, 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 very basic work. But yesterday, I think I needed to bite back at the universe for my time. I think I have not been taking advice that others have given me on, having dedicated separate like hobby areas, having separate hobby time, and that's because I don't think I can. My shop is just too big. I don't want to have more than one spot, but my tummy's growling. So I cleaned off the camera, and I think you can tell. I think you can definitely tell. I think it looks a lot cleaner. But yeah, so yesterday morning. Oh no, so yeah, I didn't break my foot. That's what I needed to cover. Yesterday morning, I pretty much came down here and I spent the day, not the day, but the early part of the day working on Flames of Orion stuff, which is absolutely, it gets me so pumped. I'm not going to like go into the whole thing, but I am going to kind of like just ramble a second about the mechs that I rolled up because they get me really, really, really pumped. But I'm gonna actually I'm gonna grab that book, and before I do that, I'm just gonna cover this so you can see what I've. Fuck it, I'll cover that later. I'm gonna get Flames of Orion, and I'm gonna move this down. We're gonna talk about flames because that's what I want to do right now. Okay, I'm gonna move this table real quick. All right, that's on me. had that coming. We only lost one stone. And the cap is not broken, so that's the main thing. Lost one stone, cap's not broken. And I'm going to pick this up, put it in the floor. And while I'm here, our old friends, let me say, if you notice where the liquid is now, they've definitely absorbed a large amount of our wood glue mixture. So I opened up this one yesterday. Oh man. Yeah, well, there is an airwig in there. Hey man, don't be in my house. That's on you. He's very dead. There's no saving it. He was probably living in one of the sticks. Maybe. I don't care for earwigs. So I opened this up yesterday, and this smells like death. It is not good. It is a very bad smell. It took a while for me to like get it out of my face, out of my head once I inhaled it, because I was just like, that smells like just death in a can. So I'm going to. They have absorbed enough of the wood glue, I think, that they should be preserved. I'm going to take them out with gloves because I don't want to touch them, and put them on the same little like holders that I had my other stuff on, or the same sticks whenever I sprayed them for using them in terrain. I'm going to do that same thing and leave them sitting out in my garage to dry, or underneath like the new gazebo in the backyard. Probably that, because so because these are dead, this is decomposing matter that I have now. It went from being really dry and like at a different stage of decomposition. Let me rephrase that. It's a different stage of decomposition. A very dry stage. And I took it to like the rot stage, but stopped it kind of. And that's because there's no oxygen. So there's not enough oxygen in here for rot to actually step in. But we have taken these pieces of wood that are dried and we've rehydrated them. But we've rehydrated them with a mixture of wood and glue, and that is in hopes that when it dries, all that wood and glue that has been absorbed will the water will evaporate, the glue will not. So essentially, we're coating this thing from the inside out with everything it needs to like harden it. That's why we did these. So this smells like death, though. This. Whew. Like, yeah, I'm not just yeah, I'm trying to think of what I said. One of the band names that we had was A Kiss from the Corpse Queen, which is a reference to Elden Ring. And I think that I said that it was like a kiss from the corpse ass, because it is seriously, it smells like, oh, it's just awful. It's just one of the worst smells I've ever smelled. And it just stayed. It was just like if you just took rot and like just got it nice and canned, and then you're like, have a little sip. It was awful. So Flames of Orion. I'm really excited about Flames of Orion, specifically. Where did I put that little guy? I think I put it back up there. That's good. So, Flames of Orion. The rules for it, I think I left upstairs, or they're probably elsewhere where I was rolling up these characters and whatnot. So, essentially, I really, 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 really enjoyed how easy and quick it was to have 8 mechs rolled up as an idea to start playing, and how rad they all were. Like I straight just the only thing I re-rolled one thing, and it wasn't a like oh yeah, you know, hey, that's on me. No, I re-rolled the name of one of them, and because I did everything random except for this, I did re-roll that because it just didn't, the answer didn't seem right because of all the other ones. But I rolled up 4 mechs. The first one, you roll up call signs. So by doing that, you take 2d6, you roll both of them at the same time, and it gives you a grid to go down between you, left, right. And that gives you the first part of the call sign, and then you do the same thing for a second chart, gives you the second. So that is how I got Siege Dragon as the first mech. Again, completely random. Then, because in Flames, Steve has all mechs, and this is like quick play rules. So like if you're starting, just everyone has the same kind of stuff. Everyone's even playing field, which I love. I love, let me rephrase that. I love an even playing field with chance. So like, yeah, we all start with the same stuff, but you might start better because chance, or I might start better. I love that. I'm fine. If someone has an advantage, I don't want it to be because the game just likes them more. I want it to be because of chance. I want it to be because of a dice roll, because of something like that. So the kind of games that I truly love are ones with that. Also, just I've got a weird little, I want to talk to Steve written down up here because I got really pumped. Whoa, we're in the same time zone. Oh my goodness, my possum friend. You're on that Eastern time like me. Why are you awake at 7 a.m., you silly little possum? I'm talking about Flames of Orion. And I don't have my little book, but I'm really excited to talk about all the little mechs that I rolled up. Because they all get me really pumped. And then I'm excited to talk about everything else and why I'm not working on Flames of Orion right now, because I can't, even though I really want to. Yeah, so I rolled up. Everything, again, was random, except for the last one's call sign. It was still random, but I kept rolling until I got something that I liked. But essentially, I just took 2 dice that were the same color. That way, I wouldn't be more inclined to associate one with the other, and I rolled 2 at the same time. And then that would give me to watch your stream and shower in a bit, because I'm going to get a little brekkie with the homie and clean shop. Nice! Little brekkie. Little brekkie's always good. I'm more of a cereal guy. It's probably because I feel like I can't eat very much in the mornings at first. But, so yeah, call signs. So pretty much I just took dice. I just rolled them. Used the same color dice. That way I wouldn't be inclined to associate one with the left or one with the right. And then so each one popped out two choices. And then I picked which one I thought worked best as a whole. So, and then for mechs, I was like, okay, you either have a ranged weapon, a melee weapon, or an upgrade. So I was like, that's just a D6 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was like, okay, I'm going to roll them and they get whatever they get. So there was a possibility out the gate that one of them could have had no guns and no weapons. And I was very down with that. It did not happen. We have one that is very close, and it gets me so pumped. It's my favorite. And we'll get to that. So we've got Siege Dragon, which again, all this was just completely random rolled, which is why I got really pumped. But Siege Dragon has a flamethrower, long-range targeting, a rail weapon, and a close combat weapon. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, it's the only one that got a flamethrower, and it's the only one that had dragon in its name, so I was just like, hell yeah. Then we have Infernal Angel, which rolled up a large missile battery, long-range targeting, electric field, and an energy sword, which I was like, pretty fucking rad. We got Sacred Ghost, which rolled up a piston gauntlet, counter missiles, and then medium and heavy ranged weapons. So a lot of range shooting. And then we rolled up the Eternal Blade, which had a nuclear core, VTOL, which is like essentially, I'm assuming VTOL is a Armored Core reference. I'm pretty sure it's the like thrusters, like, but essentially it enables you to move a lot faster. A cable whip and then a piston gauntlet. So it's just no blade, but just all melee, and I like that. And then the second group is my favorite, and I think that also, again, random was not choice, other than the second group, the last one, the name, I did try to get that one a little bit more in line, but Siege Dragon, Infernal Angel, Sacred Ghost, and Eternal Blade. Those are 4 pretty solid call signs for just rolling up random, which I'm just like, yeah, Steve, you did a good job on that table, bud. I really like that table a lot. I've already messaged you and told you this, but I want to say it again. I really like that table. And now we get to my favorite. This is my favorite mech, and it's like my spirit animal. But it's called Acid Core, and it rolled up self-destruct, a piston gauntlet, nuclear core, and reactive armor. So it only has a fist and then a nuclear powered core that it can blow up whenever it wants. And then reactive armor. So it just runs at you and you're just like shooting it. And the whole time it's just like, oh yeah. And then it just wants to punch you really hard. I just really like that. I really like Acid Core. That's the one that I'm like the most excited to build. And then Dark Tank had AI missile systems, long range systems, nuclear core, a close combat weapon. Hell Engine had a medium ranged weapon, a cable whip, a heavy ranged weapon, and a lance. And then the last one was Wayward Wraith. And again, I rerolled just the name just because I could not get a name that sounded like it fit with the rest of the others. And I only got upset, kind of fixated on that just because all the names of the first crew sounded so good. It was kind of the most middle of the road one, but it rolled just a medium ranged weapon, an armor upgrade, large missile battery, and then a close combat weapon. Then I started working on some stuff for Farewell to Arms. So with that talked about, I did not break my foot, but I did try to fold it hot dog style. I didn't. The world did. I was just walking. So I got the filing cabinet from my mom that I have been waiting to get a hold of to have in my shop, and it's awesome. It is very large, so I did not get hurt doing that. But yeah, and I got that cleaned out. So it is going to be awesome for holding my terrain. It is, I think, 18 inches deep. It's just a big legal filing cabinet, but it holds them horizontally instead of vertical. Yeah, it's horizontal. Anywho, so yeah, big horizontal filing cabinet. Gonna paint it black. It's dope. It'll be really good though for storing all of my terrain, stuff that I don't want to see all the time, but I want it kind of up. So I was really excited about that. We got a little garden bed. We did all kinds of fun stuff this weekend, and then I was just walking to the garage, and my foot. Here's a little lesson about Adidas slides. So they don't really bend. They're pretty firm. I was walking and my foot, I was just walking. I wasn't doing anything, and my foot rolled and it went like that. But because of how, I guess, firm the plastic or the rubber is, like the top of my foot stayed, but the bottom completely went sideways. So it was like, seriously, like my foot tried to fold itself hot dog, and I heard 3 very distinct cracks, and then like instantly like fell and had to like grab my car. Like I had just opened the garage, so I had to like grab my car and grab the garage, and it was just like, oh fuck. And Kelly like heard me, like she was on the other side of the fence, just the way she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I think I just broke my fucking foot." But turns out it was not broken. But yeah, so pretty much after that, it was just like I did the same kind of thing that I did when I broke my finger, and a few other things, like not broken, but get hurt. I typically get hurt, and I'm just like, I'm fine. This is fine. This is not the same. And I thought that it was broken because it had the same feeling that my finger does. My finger has like almost like a phantom feeling, kind of like I can always feel it because it has nerve damage. Parts of my hand are getting like that. Like up here, I feel my hand more, I think, than I used to. And by feel it more, I mean I don't feel it. The lack of feeling is what I'm aware of, to make that more understandable. Like, it's not that like, man, I can really feel that. It's more of like, I don't, and I notice that I don't. I don't know. It's very interesting. Interesting concepts, like a phantom limb that you haven't actually lost yet. Anywho, so my foot, it's not broken. We went and got x-rays. There are a bunch of little bones. So like in your foot, your feet and your hands are very similar. But the little bones, the metatarsals that connect your toes to the big part of your bone, that is what I was afraid was broken, as well as I'm trying to remember, a Jones injury, or Johnson. There is a specific kind of injury that happens to your foot, and when I read about it, I Googled it, and it was just one of those, yep, shouldn't have done that, because instantly I was like, I hate this, and I might as well just cut my foot off now, like, because, yeah, essentially, like there's a couple little bones that are up, like here-ish, in the top part of your foot, and apparently it is very easy to break them, as most little bones are. So apparently this is a kind of break that typically happens from rolling your foot, and that it does not typically recover like well. So it's just like, oh good, I may have accidentally just injured myself in a way that may never heal, and also I now have to deal with that. So it was just kind of a very, very, very big, like, morale blow. It just took a lot of wind out of the sails. So Monday was a little rough. Pretty much dealing with that. Went and got looked at. Turns out it wasn't broken. It's just the ligaments they think are damaged. And that's the thing, is it's just, I felt bad for going to the doctor, and it not being broken, which is really dumb. And I'm aware of that, but it's like assuming, I don't know. No, it's just one of those things of not wanting to be an inconvenience, not wanting to have a negative impact on my household, between, my wife and I. I think that's just a lot of guilt associated with like going to the doctor and stuff, being young, money, that kind of thing. I think that's probably where my head was with why it got me in such a weird funk. But yeah, it just more of a, not worried. You still needed to see a doctor, homie, even if it wasn't broken. That's it. Like Kelly was just like, I mean, it's not broken. Your foot still is not usable. Like, walking, I can walk on like the heel without the boot. Like, it sucks. I can walk on the heel, but I mean, I'm limping. Very, very. I can walk better with the boot. That's for sure. Yeah, Kelly made me realize the same thing, and I'm saying this like I've learned this. But for anyone out there that is like me, because I know that, there's people, everyone's different. If you're thinking, man, I hate that I had to spend this money going to the doctor and doing this thing, it's just like, after we went, at the doctor, I'm just like, oh my god, blah blah blah. This boot's gonna be so expensive, all this stuff. And my wife is just like, don't think about that at all. She later that day, after like her coworkers are like talking to her about how expensive these boots and stuff are, she's just like, oh my god, I'm just like, they're freaking me out. Like I need to be really worried. And it's just like looking up on Amazon, we're like, okay, I mean, they're like 50, $60. So we looked it up and we're like, again, everything, because everything is like done through insurance, through everything else. It's just like, I mean, we'll find out how much this shit costs whenever, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Well, that was a dark joke. I'm not gonna make it. Little Mario and Luigi joke for you. So with the boot, looking it up online, Kelly was like, yeah, no, it's like $70. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking $100 for a boot that I needed to walk around. I'm fine to spend $30 to $40 more. And I realized that, I mean, so much of it is her coworkers have kids. We don't have kids. My guilt is from coming as like, growing up a single parent household. It's just like, yeah, like $100 that you didn't know was coming, that could really fuck you up. And your whole household. Like, so it's that I realize that like my apprehension of going to the doctor and dealing with it was mainly that, just a guilty kind of like, I don't want to be a problem, but it's just like, yeah, I might actually like need to lose my foot if I don't fucking deal with it. Like, so go to the doctor. I don't know why I keep looking up here. I need to stop doing that. Go to the doctor. If you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. That's pretty much what my rant came down to is, yeah, even if it's not broken, you still need to go to the doctor. Thank you. Thank you, Possum. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everyone else that thinks that I should go to the doctor, except for me, because I don't like myself at times. Or I don't think I should go to doctors. I'm all right. Let's see. What else we got? So, got a lot of work done with this guy. And I'm pretty excited about it. So the bridge is not done, but it's getting there. Ow! Also, probably the follow doctor visit to chop the foot off is probably way more expensive. That's the thing. Yeah, unless you're doing that shit misery style. Man, I don't know. If I had to, I gotta cut my foot off. I gotta cut my foot off. How am I gonna do it? How am I gonna cut my foot off? I'm gonna go to. Oh God, that's grisly. That's grisly. But if I've gotta cut my foot off, if it's gotta come off, do I go to the doctor, or do I do it myself? This is not, man, my feet. I don't know. I've got a thing with my feet. I have a thing with my whole flesh corpse body. I don't like the whole thing. So, looking at my little feet here, if I had to cut that bad boy off, I think I could do it. And I think I would. I don't know the best way to do it. Man, I've not really ever thought about that. A saw was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, not like a hand saw, but like a table saw or a miter saw. And the first thing that came to my mind was I got to go to my wife's grandpa's house, or grandparents' house. He has a saw. He had a saw that cut off all of his fingers on his hand, on one of his hands. He had crooked fingers on his right hand. Yeah, his right hand. And at some point, I might inherit that saw, and I'm not going to cut my fingers off. But it is a. I'm trying to remember. They are like you buy it and you're done. Like you don't have to have any other saws. It's the only saw you ever need. I want to say a radial. I want to say it's a radial saw. They're crazy expensive, but they can do any cut, like any cut. I want to say it's a radial saw. But he had a radial saw, and he was running his stuff through it, and he cut all of his fingers off. And he had to call. So they lived right next door to my wife's parents. So he calls them who are next door, and my wife's sister answers the phone. She's a little girl, and she's just like, "Hello," and he's like, "Casey, let me talk to your dad," because he's just cut off his fucking fingers. And she's just like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "It's your grandpa. I need to talk to your dad real quick." She's like, "This isn't grandpa." And he's just like, "Casey, let me talk to your dad now." So yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember grandpa. Grandpa yelled at me." I was like, and then I found out that he cut all his fingers off. Sorry, it was a very grisly and disturbing story to start off your morning. But that's a story. If I was going to cut my foot off, I think I would go to my wife's grandparents' house, and I would use that radial saw, because I think I could get through it like that. I think if I was just like, "Okay, we're doing the thing," like I think I could do it like that. I don't know hand wise. No, I don't know. Other than like, I would have to be some. I need to set something up so it's like a no sledgehammer and axe combo. No. So that was the other. I was like, I mean, I could. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that. The only axe that I have is my camping axe. So it would do it. I absolutely could do it with it, but it would be horrible. It's the one that I've actually had to pull out of my leg. Which this is not it, but I've got a little scar right there. You definitely can't see it. It tends to catch on things, so it like I keep hurting that same spot. But I've got a nice little scar underneath that scab from putting an axe into my leg, and it getting stuck in the bone, and then I had to pull it out. But it was a East Wing camping axe, and it was very, 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 very clean. But yeah, that was right after Eli. Yeah, it was not good. When we bought our house, I deforested the backyard, and part of that was just absolutely working way past like safety. Like you have to stop hurting yourself on accident. Yeah, so the foot is the most recent thing I've done, and the hand, and when I put that knife into my hand. Other than that, it's been a long time. When I did to my leg, that's the whole. I nicked myself. I was outside, and I was cutting down a honeysuckle bush, and it had rained a whole bunch, and we had also painted the front room, the hallway, and I think we had I think maybe it was the living room, the hallway, and we had thought about starting on something else. We've been painting for hours. I mean, I'm so exhausted, and like, I mean, the kind like where you use the sticks, you got to go like up and down. So like my core, everything was just fucked. But we had just bought the house, and I was young and dumb, and I thought, man, I've got all this stuff. You know, we've done all this work inside the house. I still have so much work, and at the time, like we lived in town, like right in the city. So like all the trees that like I cut down, I just hauled them to the front. So like the entire front of our house had like a 4 to 5 foot tall, just like barricade and full of, axe. Good. I like that. And full of, an axe. That's it. That's a new bit. I love that. So, yeah, I drug all the trees out there, but yeah, it was like a 4 to 5 foot barricade. Like I made a wall in front of our house of just like deforestation, for weeks. Like they would come, and they would pick it all up, and then they would come back, because we have a quarter acre lot, and it's all backyard. The backyard has a real ass on it. And the whole thing had just not been cared for years. So every side of the yard, like there was no fence, like, but it was like a natural fence. We had bokog or a bonkig, because of how heavy the trees had grown up. And then I cut them all down. It took a long time, a lot of elbow grease, and then yeah, the last time was when we were sitting there and like, I think I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna cut down that tree because we got all this other stuff, and that way that when the city comes, I won't have to cut that one down and have to wait for the city again. That's dumb. If you're really, 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 really tired, and you've been working a lot, don't do more work, even if you don't have an axe. Like if an axe or a hammer or something that can hurt you really bad isn't involved, it's really best to not overwork yourself no matter what, because that's dumb. You will probably get hurt. Overworking leads to getting hurt. I have learned this enough, but sometimes I still forget. But this time, I will say, in my defense, the boot, I was just walking. I was just minding my own business. I was just doing my own thing. And my foot tried to explode. But yeah, so the axe, I swung, and the branch was wet. And it was a curved branch, so the blade hit, slid. It didn't bite into the wood. It hit, caught the edge, and slid down, and went right. I just kind of followed, and because I was so exhausted and tired, I was not there enough. It was like the third swing. I mean, I wham, wham, and I pretty much just stood there, and I was just like, oh, because it was stuck. I went. It was very, very, very sharp. I keep my tools very well maintained. So it went right in, and it went to the bone, and it stuck in the bone. And I remember looking at it and just being like, oh fuck, this is bad, and this is bad, and then I had to pull it out. And then I was just like, okay, this is really bad. And then I'm looking, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not as bad. It's not bleeding that much, and that's because when you cut to the bone, it takes a while for blood to get there because you're at the bone. So like blood has to go to the wound from around it. So yeah, that was disturbing. And then I pretty much was just like, whoop, and the whole way inside, I'm just like, all I can think of is Kelly is gonna be so mad at me. And I got inside and I opened the back door, and she was doing something in the kitchen. And I ran past her and I said, I nicked myself, and I ran to the bathroom. And I pretty much just like sat down in the bathtub and like put my leg up and turned it on and started like running it. And then eventually she came in. I was like, hey, does this need stitches? And she was like, oh God, yeah. And then she messaged her mom, and her mom, she was like, hey, does this need stitches? And her mom was just like, oh God, yeah. Unless, and that's it. I was like, Kelly's mom for the win. She knows how I think. I was like, you know what? I don't need stitches. Butterfly bandages. So I just used a bunch of butterfly bandages because it's in the dead center of my leg. I just pulled it shut, and that's what I did that time I cut my leg with an axe. But yeah, that's the last time I really fucked up. So this was way less. You know the word Taj and Taj Mahal? Yes. Taj Mahal. I do not know what Taj Mahal means, but I know Taj. Okay. Taj. Now I'm curious. I don't know. The last thing, that I started working on yesterday was this ladder, because it's pronounced the same way as Taj, where the C's like bocage. Oh, so like bocage. Bocage. Okay. Taj. Bocage. Now I know. Thank you. Thank you, Possum. So I made these ladders. And this is my favorite. Because it's so tall. And it's so, yeah, okay, so that's, you can really see it there. It is not straight. But I love it for a couple reasons. One, it fits exactly into a certain like kind of like corner on the castle. So like, I really like that it fits like it was made to go there. And two, I like that it's just like, man, I've still got to like tie the string around this one. But I love that like these seriously look like the kind of thing that like, I don't have a fear of heights. I'll say that. I don't have a fear of heights. I do not like being up high on a ladder with nothing like keeping me there. Like I can absolutely hang out on like catwalks. Like I loved hanging out on the catwalk at like Rep Arena. I was a catwalk man. I was the night man. I was up in the rafters. It was great. Love it. Love being in the catwalk. Love being up high, I guess. If I feel safe. I think that's it. I feel when I feel safe, I'm happy. And when I'm not safe, I'm anxious and afraid. And that is kind of me in any environment. Ladders, though, are the quickest way to get me unsafe feeling. Also, I had a really kind of funny statement yesterday. I said something to Kelly. We were talking about ladders. And I said something about Theodore and a ladder. And I was like, yeah, he uses ladders all the time. She was like, does he? I don't think he does. And I was like, I had a realization. And comfortability makes you safe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. But I had the realization that according to my last employer, I was certified to use a ladder because I watched a video. Now, my son Theodore did watch that video with me. And using that logic, I mean, it seems to me that he is just as qualified to use ladders as I am. And that's a funny kind of thought. When it's just like, yeah, well, my son, he is ladder certified. He did take the ladder safety training with me. He also does not have thumbs. But, so yeah, I was thinking about these, and I was laughing about how all of these ladders, it's just like, I don't have a fear of heights, but like the ladders that you have to get on to like do anything kind of maintenance on the side of your house or on your roof, get that boy a ladder license. He needs a ladder license. He loves plumbing. Whenever our plumber, John, we had a whole bunch of stuff years ago done, but we had all the cast iron cut out of our basement. Pretty much the entire, if the plumber is here, if our plumber John is in this house, my son is with him wherever he is, just kind of hanging out, learning the trade. Theo, he yearns to be a handyman. He's just like, Dad, there's just something about getting my mitts dirty, Something like that. I love that guy. So much it hurts. But I really like the idea of it. Just, I don't know, it just kind of fits in with the entirety of Theo as a tradesman. I respect it. He's just a little tradesman. He goes, right, Dad? Skills, Dad, not degrees, all right? He's a goofball. Yeah, that's anyone listening. I don't know how good of advice I can give, but learning how to do things, actually learning how to do them is so much more valuable than getting pieces of paper that say you know how to do things, in my opinion. Dad, I'm joining the union and you can't stop me. Theo, what? I'm a union man now, Dad. That was him smacking his lips. He smacks his lips a lot. Theo does a lot of lip smacking. There's a lot of... A lot of he does a lot of licking, I guess. He eats a lot of chow. That's probably it. But yeah, I really like that this ladder is both of these. So these ladders, I made them. I wanted them to look like they were built for the keep. So I wanted them to look a little more professional. And then like these, I wanted it to make it very clear that people are like coming here and there's no entrance, so they have to cut down trees to build a ladder to get in. And I really liked that. And I really liked the just the horror of it all. Like in the sense that's just like, man, these ladders. This ladder is like the size. Okay, let me see how tall he is. Yeah, this ladder is seriously, it would be like the size ladder I would have to like, I would use this to climb onto my house. Like a 2-story, a story and a half, like it. Yeah, I don't know, shit, that might be a 2-story. I would never climb up a ladder that looked like this. Like, I'm aware that these are sticks, but they, you know, if they were trees, like, and it was just rope, no. No way. I'm going to fall and I'm going to fucking die. I've been made very aware that, like, the number one cause of death is just fucking falling. Like, that's, yeah, you just fall and you die. That just happens. People just die sometimes. Horrifying. No, I said number one cause of death. That's, like, I think actually number one, like, work-related death. But fuck, I mean, it might. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. I don't remember my training. I need to get out of here. I need to just look at this one. I'm getting back in the habit of it. I'm sorry. It's been a couple days. I forget what I'm doing. Roofing is like 2 or 3 most dangerous. Yeah, like, it's nuts. Like, and it's crazy because like my buddy Jared, when he was telling me at one point in time that he dated a girl that her dad and her brother, like her whole family, worked on like a wind farm. So like they went out to they just did maintenance on the shit. What are those things? The windmills. But they're like not just like they're the windmills that are like they're massive. Shit. Johnny and I were talking about that when we were coming back from. We were coming back from Adepticon the first year, and we were going through the wind farm, and he said, "How tall do you think those are?" And I said, "I would bet 300 feet to 400 feet, the ones in the Indiana, because they were taller than the majority of cell phone towers, which are typically a standard cell phone tower in our area. Now, standard. That doesn't mean anything. Nowadays, no. They were only like 150 feet. We thought that they were like 200, 300 feet, and I was like, yeah, I mean, blah, 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 but there was a monopole. That's how I remember now. There was a monopole tower on the side of the road because of where we were driving through, and I was like, that's a monopole. Monopoles are 100-foot tall towers max. You can't have a taller than 100-foot tall monopole. So that let us know the scale of the windmills. But yeah, the thing was, my buddy worked, or he dated someone, her family worked on those. That's all they did. And they're like, yeah, you can come, come work with us. And it's just like, it paid. They only worked, I want to say it was 3 months of the year. They worked 3 months of the year, and then they don't work the rest of the year. Because it pays so much. Because if you fall, you are dead. there is like no chance. Like, they were working on like, not the 150 footers. They were working on like just, I mean, ones out in like in Montana and stuff that are just like 200, 300 foot tall, just giant shits. It was like, oh yeah, no, you fall, you're dead. There's no, well, maybe, nope. You got a while to think about it. It's just like, man, that's, I don't know. I don't think that's for me. Looking at the pictures that the guys would send me whenever like I had to verify that they connected everything correctly. So like you've got guys 340 feet up in the air. Well, to be fair, what was that guy who fell like 70 stories in death? That is true. So I'm saying like you're dead. You do have a chance. There is always a chance. Like you could jump off. Yeah, 70 stories, didn't die. Not feeling good though. No, it is. Is it defenestration? Is that what we were getting real pumped about in here? Throwing people out of windows? Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I made a good amount of progress on the castle today. I'm about to knock out a lot more. These are good. The whole thing that I was laughing about though is the idea of I'm going to climb up a ladder that looks like this, that is so tall, and then at the top of it I'm going to have the most intense, or possibly the last fight of my life. It's just like, I don't know, guys. I think I might just... How bad is the creeping death again? Just... Because, I don't know. That ladder's really scary, and man, just getting bonked in the face with a hammer when you get to the top. I'm really excited, though. I'm really excited about 1490. I got the Flames of War, some of that scratch building, kit bashing out of my system. I needed to do that. I'm going to return to that eventually, but I have to finish this first. That is the goal. The goal is to get the 1490 board done as quick as possible now, so I can start actually having some games playing down here. But it is 7:40. Thank you so much for watching, for giving me your time. I truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. I will be back on my grind now. The space boot can't slow me down. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Take care. Enjoy your trip, Possum. Everyone else going under the dice. Have a great time. Be safe. Make good life choices. Yeah. Take care. Sit pretty. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again.